All right, so welcome back to section 6. This is the last section after you've closed the sale. It's the last section I'm going to be teaching you on, and then I'm going to hand it off to Lindsay what to do after the client. So let's assume you've closed the sale at this point. The next thing to do is kick off the client. This section is going to be really quick, but what I do is we schedule the kickoff call. We try to do it right there on the call, so that way there's no drop off where they don't change their mind as far as getting scheduled, and it becomes less of a priority, and then they change their mind about wanting to do it. So we schedule them as soon as we can. We use Calendly. We collect their name, their email, their phone number in case we can't connect with them, and then we put a link in here and we use appear.in to do a video call. You can use whatever you want. We liked appear.in because it was just a link that would be in Calendly. You never had to change it, and that's what we used. The other thing that we do is we would send a contract. We use EchoSign, but you can use DocuSign, whatever you want. This is really important. We made sure that people had this signed before their kickoff call. If it wasn't signed, we wouldn't move forward. You don't want to get in a situation where you start doing work and they're not very clear on exactly what's the ramifications of what you guys are doing together. And make sure that's signed, because you just don't want to get in a situation where you go through and do a lot of work and they change their mind or whatever and you have nothing backing it up. So make sure you sign this. It doesn't have to be signed on the call, but like I said, before your first kickoff call. The next thing that we do here is we create a Basecamp template. Lindsay's going to talk more about this, but make sure right after you close them, fire up a Basecamp template of the project, assign them to the certain roles, and send that off to them. And last thing, this is really important, is we would record the sale in the tracking sheet I showed you, but also celebrate. So one of the best things that I liked was we would go and write down on a whiteboard the number of sales or who sold it, and just keep track of it throughout the month, how many sales you had throughout the month. And so it's not super important. That wasn't super important from a tracking perspective, but it really felt good for the salesperson as well as the rest of the team to just publicly acknowledge there was a sale and just have that celebration as a company together, when you get new clients in to celebrate. So, use something like this, use a gong, get a bell. That stuff may sound silly, but it's actually one of the best feelings of closing that sale and getting the whole team rallied together. So that's it. It's a really quick process, 4 steps: kick off the client and then hand it over to your accounts team.